Thunder cracks created steps in the alley. Demons scatter quick, shadows play a rally. Angels pull up in hoodies, wings tucked tight. Heaven's militia ready to ignite. Chains rattling, streets screaming in pain. Evil out here wildin', trying to stake its claim. But the squad don't sleep, nah, they don't fold. Flame swords drawn, their wrath runs cold. Creator fights for you, the streets can't deny. Angels on patrol, wings cut in the sky. Evil runs, evil hides, it's a battle every night. But the light don't lose, nah, the light gon' fight. Concrete jungle where prayers get raw. Creator got that blueprint, he lays down the law. Angels circle the block, halos dim for war. They ain't here for peace talks, they settle the score. Knuckles crack, fists fly, darkness gets smacked. Evil got no alibi, caught in the act. Holy vengeance on deck, justice intact. Creator's army on the streets, never off track. Midnight sirens, but they don't need no badge. Heaven soldiers turn sin into ash. Midnight sirens, but they don't need no badge. Heaven soldiers turn sin into ash.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is a special edition, a recorded video that I'm doing, and it's called The Missing People and the Underworld Part 1. There's going to be a two-part series to this. This is merely the introductional part of the video. We'll get into more of the in-depth stuff in the second part, but there will be a lot of information disclosed in this one, and we'll see where the missing people are going. That being said, as always, I claim the fair use of any and all content under the Copyright Act of 1976, which makes allowances for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and entertainment value under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known herein as the fair use. Okay, that being said, furthermore, I wish to acknowledge that not all the opinions or the theories mentioned during the podcast are not necessarily the opinions or views of Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel or myself, aka William Nighthawk. We at Nighthawk High Strangeness YouTube channel and Facebook channels merely bring the open format to discuss the possibilities of the topics happening in the past, present, and future. Please join the Nighthawk High Strangeness YouTube channel family by subscribing, and please hit that like button and share it to your friends and family because there's a lot of information on this channel. Join the chat family, being respectful, and please, if you have any questions during any podcast, whether it's pre-recorded video or live, please leave your questions in capital letters. Okay? Thank you. All right. That being said, I'm going to take that down. And we have over every year disappearing worldwide. We have over 500,000 disappearing in North America, which includes the United States, Canada, and Alaska. Okay, Alaska, I call it separate because it's this whole other animal. And we're going to get into that first, okay? Alaska is not only the land of mystery, but it is the land of the bizarre. There there have been over 20,000 people missing in Alaska. Okay. Aerial phenomena has been reported in Alaska. The main thing with the missing people in Alaska is you have to take in consideration the fact of wildlife tragedies. Okay, whereas could be, you know, the Kodiak bear or the brown bear for one of them is very prominent in all parts of Alaska, just as much as the polar bear is in the northern parts. Okay. Um, that being said, there's several legends too of cryptid creatures throughout the entire area of Alaska's coverage, including the ocean. Okay, which gets into the whole mermaid type of an entity. Okay, and we're going to make that connection between the water and the missing people. Okay, along with the cave systems and the missing people. Okay, so bear with me. My voice is raw and I'm having difficulty breathing, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly and as easily as possible. That being said, Alaska. Alaska with over 20,000 people missing. Where are they going? There was a movie that came out several years ago where a psychologist, a doctor came forward people that were allegedly abducted. And we're not going to get into the details of it because I don't need people knocking on my doors, but go and look it up. I believe it was called Dark Skies. Or no, it was called, was it The Fourth Kind? Yeah, I think it was called The Fourth Kind. Look it up. Okay. It's an amazing story and it's supposedly a true story. Okay. A lot of witness backed it up. So, that being said, but a lot of tragedy involved with it, though. So, keep that in mind. Um, as with any missing persons case, you have to look for similarities. A lot of law enforcement looks for the logical aspects of it. They don't look outside the box. Okay. Here's the thing, taking a look at the map of Alaska that I have on the screen right now, those are water tables in Alaska. In other words, groundwater. Okay. Heavily areas. Okay. Light blue and the dark blue and the medium blue. And then you take in consideration the ocean and the volcanic activity that is associated with Alaska. So, you know, everything is connected under our feet. You're going to have lava tubes that lead to cave systems that lead to underwater aquifers, to, you know, people's well systems, to remote ponds and lakes, the whole network underneath our feet, and not just Alaska, but the whole northern hemisphere is linked. Okay. So we have a situation with missing people. And this is what I got to say about Alaska. You take in consideration this map of Alaska with its water tables spotted on the whole state, okay? And then you take the cave systems that could be linked to it, and volcanic, okay? Um, like I said, lava tubes, the whole thing. If you coordinate that where all the disappearances come to, you'll find almost an exact 100% match, including the coastline. Water plays a big key in the missing people. And I'm not talking the ones that turn up moments later, okay, or days later, or weeks later, or even a year later, okay. I'm talking the ones that disappear and don't come back, okay, that don't come back at all. Water, like I've always said, is the key. They're going to try and distract you from that. They're going to have their agencies that are in control of a lot of the a lot of the national park lands. Um, give you a cock and bull story, okay, a reason for the disappearances happen, or I don't have that file anymore. That file's outdated, or I'm sorry, I can't approve that information to be released to you. Those are the three things that always happens when somebody confronts the national parks. Okay, so keep that in mind. Then you take in consideration you have your own ex-national park employees speaking ill of the park system and what they're covering up. Okay, so you have to take that into consideration. So you have some credible witnesses, and then you have some that are exaggerating a little bit. Okay, so you have to take that aspect into it. But if you overlay the places where people disappear in Alaska on this map, you'll have almost 100% accuracy. Same thing. Here is the Oglala Aquifer. Now, the Oglala Aquifer covers at least 8 territories or states, okay? Right next to the mountains, the Rocky Mountains, right next to, it's between the Rocky Mountains and the Mississippi River. Think about that connection. You have the water and you have the mountains. Mountains, caves, waterways, underwater streams, and underwater aquifers. Okay. So you have that water connection again with the missing people. And it's almost an exact match to where people are missing in the central part of the country. Think about it. Yosemite, Yellowstone, all those areas, Ozarks, all those areas. Makes you wonder. So we have the connection through the underground aquifers of water. Where do you think they all lead? Underground cave systems are eventually going to lead either to the edge to where the water of the oceans are, or they're going to end in a mountainous range that is a volcano. So, for some reason, these people, I would say up to probably 75% of all missing people, are missing not from the air. They're not being taken from the air. Some of the percentages may be taken by wildlife, okay, mountain lion and whatnot. But it's my opinion, through my research, that about 75% of all missing people, especially in national parks, are taken from the ground. They're taken from below. They're taken from the underworld. Hence the name of this video, Missing People and the Underworld. Too many people, too many children, too many adults are linked together because they either have a diagnosed or an undiagnosed disability. Now, think about that. How many times have you gone out of the house on a hike and ever thought in your wildest dreams that you were possibly diabetic, or you were possibly bipolar, or you were possibly autistic? Or how about cancers? The only three links to the missing people are all connected by one way, shape, or form. They're being taken right below their feet. They're not being taken from above. Anybody that says that it's UFOs that are doing it are lying to you. And I hate to say it that way. They're lying. UFOs and aliens, they're not taking these people. If anybody is, it's possibly underground dwelling, what most governments have labeled alien. Okay? But they're not alien at all. They've probably been here longer than humanity. But they're using the tunnel systems of the lava tubes. They're using the underground aquifer waterways, and they're using cave systems to do it. It's all connected, folks. And all roads lead to the oceans. And what's seen coming in and out of the oceans more than anything? USOs. It is all connected, every bit of it. So I leave that little bit of information to you to decide. Do your own research. Take your own notes. Document your own cases. Because I guarantee the connection you will find will be the underwater aquifers and cave systems and lava tubes to the mountains and to the oceans. These people are being taken, but they're being taken from beneath their feet, not from above. Take care, everybody. Be safe and question everything.
Thunder cracks created steps in the alley. Demons scatter quick, shadows play a rally. Angels pull up and hoodies wings tucked tight. Heaven's militia ready to ignite. Chains rattling, streets screaming in pain. Evil out here wildin', trying to stake its claim. But the squad don't sleep, nah, they don't fold. Flame swords drawn, their wrath runs cold. Creator fights for you, the streets can't deny. Angels on patrol, wings cut in the sky. Evil runs, evil hides, it's a battle every night. But the light don't lose, nah, the light gon' fight. Concrete jungle where prayers get raw. Creator got that blueprint, he lays down the law. Angels circle the block, halos dim for war. They ain't here for peace talks, they settle the score. Knuckles crack, fists fly, darkness gets smacked. Evil got no alibi, caught in the act. Holy vengeance on deck, justice intact. Creator's army on the streets, never off track. Midnight sirens, but they don't need no badge. Heaven soldiers turn sin into ash. Midnight sirens, but they don't need no badge. Heaven soldiers turn sin into ash.